Welcome back to Straight Talk about Health and Wellness. My name is Mary Henderson, and I am your host. All right. Today, we will be talking about limiting beliefs. All right. Have you ever had this thought or this event you want to put on, or you want to go back to school, or you want to have something, so you want to do something to improve yourself, but yet you have this little voice saying, I don't know if you can do that. All right. I don't know. You may be too old or you're not even qualified. The voice is saying you're not even qualified. Why are you gonna do that? Or it's too late for that. Never think it's too late. I always tell people, as long as there's breath in your body, breath, okay, it's not too late. All right. And the qualifications, take a class, take a 10-minute class. Bam, qualified, there you are. All right. So today, I'm cheating looking at my notes. Today, we're going to be talking about limited beliefs. All right. As a healthcare educator, through the years, I'm not going to tell y'all how long, but through the years, I have noticed that sometimes your mindset impacts, all right, your health and your wellness. All right. So we don't want that to happen. So today, we have your answers. Today, we have Coach Paula Taylor. All right. Coach Paula Taylor, she is the owner and CEO of Above Adequate. I have a hard time saying that. I don't know why, but Above Adequate. All right. She is a transformational coach trainer. All right. Her specialty is training leaders in churches and organizations and things. And I almost said the White House, but don't quote me on that. But she is the specialty is actually training leaders. All right. So we are going to introduce her. And I was doing some research today, and I ran across this website called Zipdo, Zipdo. Never heard of it. But according to their research, Zipdo Education Research, according to them, there are 85% of Americans, all right, have that mindset. Okay, what I just talked about, that little voice, all right, that actually, whispers into your right ear. It could be your left ear, but I'm saying right ear. So that's something to keep in mind because I didn't know it was that many people with that mindset. But anyway, we'll get it straight today. Good morning, Coach Paula Taylor.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am well. I'm excited to be here and yeah, I'm doing great today.
How was your Valentine weekend?
It was good. It was
Okay.
good. I got a chance to spend it with a group of amazing ladies. We did a Galentine's Day brunch and it was wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I never heard of that. Yeah, I need to try to find one of those for next year.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of, and it's for women in general, whether you're,
Mhm.
married, single, partners, or whatever. So
Mhm.
it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Well, my son bought roses and we went out to dinner, same old stuff. But yours sound like a lot of fun.
It
So,
was.
Coach Paula, I did tell the audience a little bit about you. All right. And I think I left out a few things as I began to talk. But can you add a few other things that I left out?
Let's see. Well, you pretty much covered it. I also do trainings in emotional intelligence and personality, behavior styles, and these are some of the things I do with leaders. I do some personal and professional development workshops and group work as well. So overall, the whole thing is to help leaders and help individuals, whether you're a leader in your home, a leader outside of your home, just how we help learn ourselves and help stay well and continue to grow.
Nice, nice. I know I left out something. Emotional intelligence. I thought about that this morning, and I don't know why I get on stage and can't remember.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
All
Look,
right, so we're gonna jump right into it. What is limiting beliefs?
Well, wow, and I love this time with you, Mary, because I always say I'm not the expert, but I am the experienced one. I'm a product of the product, and so I love sharing what I learn, and I know you as well. And we don't always have every answer, but what we have is so important to share. But for me, I've been a part of teaching on limiting beliefs for a good amount of time. But limiting beliefs is really that story you tell yourself or that story you believe. Repeatedly, you tell yourself, you speak yourself, your thoughts that restricts your potential and really sort of narrows your openness or your options, and sometimes justifies reactions that you may have. But it really is that those things like you said, I can't, I'm too old, I'm too this, and we just start repeating it over and over. So it becomes a habitual thought that really is a story that turns into a story that then we begin to live out as a limiting, as what we believe, our limiting belief.
Yeah, because I think we listen to that little voice sometimes. Some of us listen to that little voice.
And interesting you said that because sometimes the voice is becomes the strongest voice or the loudest voice.
Hmm.
And the important thing is learning where that voice is coming from, and if that voice is a voice that you or thought that you want to continue to carry.
Yeah, that's a good point. Where do you actually think these voices come from?
Well, limiting beliefs, I like when you said voices. Now it just sounds like, whoa, we got these voices. But it really is. It's our internal listening, our internal thought process, and those belief systems. And they can come from anywhere. They can come from our childhood growing up. And it doesn't mean we had a horrible childhood. Doesn't matter if it's good, bad, right, or wrong.
Mhm.
It can come from culture, relationships. It can come from our faith community, our general community. And I'll tell you this, and I'll share one real quick one that everybody can possibly resonate with or know in a way someone who has. Here's a limiting belief that it doesn't mean that our education system is necessarily good, bad, right, or wrong. But the moment you tell kids you got an A and you got a B, you got a C, you got a D, some kids, or as we're young, we're growing up.
Mhm.
I'm only
Mhm.
a C student. So now my
Mhm.
belief system is that I'm only a C student. Now,
Mhm.
doesn't mean a C student is unequal to an A student, but that
Mhm.
belief system now moves that person into believing, well, if I'm only a C student, I'm only X, Y,
Right.
so that how that little thought or little action or that
Mhm.
something in our culture or our childhood or a parent may say, well, why can't you get grades like your brother or sister? In those moments, we want to be careful because those are what plants. Or it could be a
Shoot.
quiet silence thing where somebody may praise something or someone and you automatically internally go, well, I'm not that and I don't look like that. So what does that
Mhm.
mean for me? So
Mhm.
that's how our limiting beliefs over the years begin to develop, and then they grow into our actual belief system that could possibly hold us back.
That's true because as growing up, I was told some things, and I think about that today. And I am 20 plus years
Yeah,
old.
right. Just a little bit over 20, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but that comes up with you,
Mhm.
like you're only a C student. That's why us as parents, we need to be, myself as a parent, I always was careful to say that why don't you do this like your sister? Do this like your brother.
Yeah,
Because everybody have their own limits, you know what I mean, or what they can do.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
being a parent, you need to be creative, as it is anyway. And you don't want to add too much, to make your job harder, which I don't know parents today. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm glad mine's are grown.
Yeah, it's a different season. So I
It's
commend
different.
all of them for all that they work to do.
We as women, all right, what age actually do we struggle with this? Man, I should ask that a different way. What are some of the common limiting beliefs women struggle with at their age?
Wow. As in, I can speak more for women than, than for men, because, but even in my coaching process, I coach and work with men and women. But a lot of times with women, it's even as we're growing up, we in our culture, skin color, in our culture, hairstyles, in our culture, intelligence, in our culture, oh, you're this, you're that. And even as we grow up, oh,
Mhm.
you're a college graduate and you're not. Oh, wait a minute. You got some smile lines now. It's so
Mhm.
many different things that we
Yeah.
put on ourselves. And I don't say
Mhm.
we automatically put on ourselves, but I think the goal is us really knowing ourselves. But otherwise, those limiting beliefs can say, oh, well, I can't do that at 50, or I can't do that at 30, or I can't do that at 75. And we put these limiting beliefs, and sometimes it's and you've I don't know if you've heard this because you're 20 plus, we're both 20 plus, but sometimes we hear things, oh yeah, that's just what happens when you age. those
I
those type
know.
little words, or
Mhm.
language is powerful, but those simple words or comments can really cause us to say, oh well, I can't, I'm done, I can't do this. And so some of those beliefs that as women is that I don't look young anymore, I don't have all my hair anymore, I can't do
That's
what I yeah when I was 20.
Mhm.
My hair is thinning, I'm going through menopause, all these different things that are real life things that happen to us, but we want to be careful to watch our language and our thoughts around us maturing, because what happens is it can limit us, that oh, I can't go out and run a marathon anymore because I'm 60 plus, or I can't do this because we're attaching some, maybe some old stories, or just stories we've heard, from other people talking, or things we read that could limit us from being able to what say live our best life, in
Mhm.
all
Jill
seasons,
Scott.
in all right, in all seasons.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. What we always have this thing called fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is a little word, but it's a big word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how does fear, I mean, just come in and sit down and take a role with
Hmm.
limiting beliefs?
Well, wow. I think with fear, the fear part, it can, I'm thinking of it within emotional intelligence, that fight, flight, freeze, or
Mhm.
fawn. It's that fear could be what I can't do, because those limiting beliefs then attach itself to that fear. Or if fear comes up, well, what if this does fail? And then the limiting belief is like, yes, because see, other people have this. So then the reasoning of that causes those limiting beliefs. So
Mhm.
sometimes with that fear, it just stifles us from even breaking through, or even
Mhm.
retelling a new story, or telling a new story of us getting to a place where no, this is not who I am. Yes, this may be fearful. I may have never been here before. I may have never
Mhm.
done this before. But what could it look
Mhm.
like on the other side? But sometimes fear actually literally freezes us and mobilizes us not to move forward. And sometimes it is those things where fear could have come from shame. It could have come
Mhm.
from, no, I don't know anyone else who thinks like this, or who has done
Mhm.
this. I believe differently. And so with that fear, it may hold us boxed in and not go beyond our ceiling, or what the
Mhm.
boundaries, or the blocks that we've set in our lives.
That's true. That's true because sometimes fear can stop you from doing a lot of things that you could do. You know you can do it, but that fear blocks it. Like it's just a wall there.
Mhm.
It really does.
Absolutely.
What daily practice can we do to get over all these obstacles here and live our best life? Live our life like it's golden. Who said that? Jill Scott. So, I mean, how can we reprogram our mind and don't listen to that little voice? Peep, peep, peep. Don't listen to a female or male. I always say female.
Right.
Don't listen to her in the background. So, I mean, how can we get ourselves back on track?
Yes, I love that, Mary, because one of the key words you said is rewire or establish. I always think of, one of my favorite scriptures is Romans 12:2, that given ourselves, 1 and 2 says not being conformed to this world, but also being transformed by the renewing of our minds. And it is so interesting because this, it being in the medical field, that when they talk about how our skin or our cells renew constantly on. So why are we not renewing our minds? What does it look like? That daily practice is really, you said, a daily practice to rewire, to ask ourselves. Even this is a practice that I do. How, and I check in, because how was today? What went well today? What didn't go well today? And then I'm asking myself, okay, for the things that may not have gone well, what transpired that they didn't go well? What was my thinking on it? What was my mindset?
Mhm.
What did I believe about it? Did I believe that I wasn't enough? Did I believe I couldn't do it? Did I believe that, what if I do this, what others will say? Did I believe that I was qualified? So
Mhm.
sometimes it's that daily practice of, and then in that moment, giving ourselves space to, what we would call, acknowledge it, but how do I now shift to say something,
Mhm.
to have a different thought? And that's that daily practice. What it does is it shifts what limiting beliefs we have and changes our beliefs. But it's really,
Mhm.
it's a habit of thought. And now how do we want to build new habits, new mindset habits of thoughts about who we are, about our life, and things like that. And so that it is really a daily practice. It's not a one-time thing. It's not a one post on social media that, oh, I read that,
Mhm.
months ago. It really is. It's like you're building a new brain and mind system of what you
Mhm.
about you. And in that, that's like working out. I
Mhm.
3 months ago, I am so in shape. No, your body, but as you work out daily and do a little bit, even if you walk,
Mhm.
your mindset changes, your body changes, your
Mhm.
body system changes, that, oh, hey, and you feel, oh, I didn't walk today,
Mhm.
or I didn't exercise today, because your body
Mhm.
picked up
Oh,
a
I
new,
can feel it.
yeah, your body feels picks up a new
Yeah, it does.
want to do with our mindsets and our belief systems.
Do you believe in positive talk?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of times, it's sometimes in our faith circles, people will say, well, positive talk, you can't just say positive talk and it happens.
Mhm.
And sometimes, for me, from a faith-based or from a belief standpoint, for me is that, death and life is in the power of the tongue. That's what scripture tells me. So am
Mhm.
I speaking life to myself, or am I speaking death to myself? Am I thinking life, or am I thinking death? If I speak positive, if I'm thinking positive, if I'm telling me, if I'm my biggest cheerleader and I'm standing
Mhm.
myself, it doesn't necessarily mean that the outcome is going to be exactly what I want it to be. But I tell you
Mhm.
this, my mindset is going to shift way quicker into what's next if I have the mindset of that I can succeed, I can accomplish, I can live in this thing, that this creative space that God has given me. I can be that love.
Mhm.
I can be that person that steps on a stage, or parents my kids well,
Mhm.
regardless of what I've come from, regardless of what people have said. If I'm speaking these words and I'm reminding myself and speaking life to myself, and positive things to myself, it doesn't mean negative things aren't going to happen. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
that. It just means that, okay, how do we pivot now, and how do we learn from this? Versus if I'm all the time, I'm not speaking anything positive or anything life-giving, and I'm constantly speaking death, I am drawn. So I'm going to see negative. I'm going to
Yes.
see negative. Yeah, I'm going to see
Mhm.
that. I'm going to see negative.
Mhm.
I'm going to see the glass half full. I'm never going to
Mhm.
see the glass. I'm going to see the glass half what, half empty,
Half
versus,
empty. Not
you know,
my cup runneth over. Not my cup runneth over.
yeah, I won't see that because of the my belief system, and um whatever my belief system is my language and
Mhm.
thought process. So if I'm thinking all negative and everything's gonna go wrong, everything cool, I'm looking for sabotage. I'm waiting for it.
You was
And so,
waiting for it.
yeah,
Mhm.
me speaking this and that, oh, okay, this
Mhm.
happened. Now I get an opportunity to pivot and learn and grow from it.
That's true because I truly believe when you think positive, I mean, everything is expected positive. All right. And don't listen to that little, her voice, his voice. Voice.
Yeah.
Paula, can you share a story of how you overcame something? You have a story to share.
I love these discussions because I always say for myself, I'm a product of the product. And let me see. Well, one of the ones that I got over, and I'll share. I've had a lot of them because thankfully, and I'm grateful for the work that I do, but I'm also being a product of the product. I'm grateful for the putting in the work that I learned. And so one of my limiting beliefs that I had was that I didn't belong on the stage. I couldn't speak. And it came from a place where at a certain time in my life, I was around, this was years ago, a group of people. And here's what I'll say this little one, get around groups of people that will cheerlead you on. They
Mhm.
hold you accountable, they will encourage you, they will cheerlead you, but they'll do it in such a loving way that even when they need to sort of go and let you know on things, it's still out
Mhm.
of love. And at that time, I was around some group of people who um, again, their belief system was always to criticize. Okay, I got to pick up the
Mhm.
wrong, I got to tell them wrong. And so in that time, I just began to believe, oh, maybe I can't speak. Maybe I can't,
Mhm.
maybe I don't have the skill. But it was
Mhm.
some people at that time that were feeding to me that I needed to be perfect. I needed to get it better. I need to get it better. And then I came to a place to realize a long journey of what am I speaking to myself? And I got a chance, product of the product. I went through my what do I believe in that and sharing with those who are listening, write down your
Mhm.
beliefs. And then
Mhm.
to now shift that and speak something different to yourself. So my limiting belief was that I can't speak. I'm not a good speaker. So I can't
Mhm.
get on stage. So if I can't get on stage, well, then I don't have anything to say. And so you go through this whole dynamic, and now I'm in this belief system that I can't do this.
Mhm.
Well, fast forward, I teach, train, work, speak, and all, but
Do
it
all that.
worked for me to shift my mindset and start speaking life and
Mhm.
then taking, if I had a negative thought or a limiting belief thought, okay, I acknowledge it. It's there. Now, what do I want to speak to myself that's going to shift that mindset? And those are where I started doing my I am statements.
So, and you're doing great. I mean, you're famous. You walked on the red carpet.
Oh my goodness.
You're
Yeah,
famous. But Paula, when you are you going someplace to speak? I should say you are um, getting ready to go on the stage. Do you have a least bit, a little fear when you just get ready to speak?
absolutely. Because in anyone will, and I've talked to pastors and leaders, and they will tell you as well. I mean, they like the moment they are ready to get on, or sometimes when they get off,
Hmm.
they feel that. Fear doesn't necessarily have to be an enemy.
Hmm.
I'm acknowledging the fear, but I'm moving past it, or I'm stepping on the stage
Hmm.
with some fear of because I don't know what the outcome is. So fear is really an alarm. It really is.
Hmm.
Sort of like your alarm in your home, your smoke detector. That smoke detector, if there's a fire, the smoke detector doesn't put out a fire. It just alarms you that something's going on.
Letting you know.
Yeah, your alarm system in the morning for you to wake up doesn't wake you up because I push the Zoom, I push, repeat all the time. But it is an
Mhm.
alarm to say, hey, it's morning time, it's time for you to get up. So that fear
Mhm.
alarm, understand it, but also know this is who I am, this is what I'm
Mhm.
speaking, and I'm stepping into this confidence. So sometimes we have to be our own cheerleaders and remind ourselves, okay, that little bit of fear comes up, or even sometimes it's a big fear. If you put
Mhm.
up today on a stage with 10,000 people in the room,
Mhm.
there'll be some fear for me. But at the same time, because of what I've done over the years of who I am and reminding myself of who I am, how God sees me, and I
Mhm.
work, I can be behind stage literally like a boxer, this going, all right,
Uh-huh.
let's go.
Uh-huh.
Who you are. You have been set for such a time as this. This is who you are. Was that that little voice can say, what if and what if, what if What if you walk on stage and trip and fall? Well, I'm going to get up and still do because also
Mm-hmm.
for me realizing there's somebody in the room that needs to hear what I said. So now I'm not making it all about me anymore with my limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
I have something to offer to other people. So yeah.
Nice, nice. What do you tell that person that feels stuck?
The person that feels stuck, the first step I would encourage them is write down your limiting beliefs and sit in some quiet time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
sit with allowing even God to be in the room with you and say, what's my language? What are my, not so much what I say out of my mouth, but what are my thoughts? How do I think about this? How do I think I'm enough? You know, do I have a high regard of what other people think about me? Am I too old? Am I too young? These are limiting beliefs that we have. Write them
Mm-hmm.
all down. And then in those limiting beliefs that could be stopping you from moving forward, exchange those and begin to now write an I am statement. So if I say I'm too old, then I
Mm-hmm.
start to know my I am statement is that I am the right age. I am
Mm-hmm.
in my prime. I
Mm-hmm.
so we're shifting it to who we actually are in a more positive and life-giving way so that now we're not the wall's not up anymore. And then it tells our minds we have to start thinking about, oh, if I am enough, whoa, what does that look like? Now we're living it. And so
Mm-hmm.
I would say to anyone who feels stuck, start there and then start speaking and start shifting your thought language and your mindset and what you say out of your mouth as well. And it may feel awkward and it may feel uncomfortable, but remember this, we're not saying something so we can feel a certain way. We're
Mm-hmm.
so we can believe a certain way. So we're shifting belief, not feelings. And a
My
lot of
feelings.
not just emotions, but we're shifting
Mhm.
our entire new story and changing our belief system.
Oh my goodness, Paula, we could go on and on and on.
I
I
know.
always enjoy my conversations with you. Every time, every
Me,
time, and you take away some nuggets and put it in the bag. You know what I mean? Well, I want you to tell the audience how they can reach you, how they can get in touch with you.
yes, they can reach me at website is coachpaula.com, CoachPaula, the letter T.com. You can reach me there. You can also reach me at my email, which is my business email, Paula at aboveadequate.com. I have a couple of workshops and things coming up, so I'm excited about that. And I just love to do some one-on-one and help wherever I can. So those are the ways that
Nice.
you reach me.
That's nice, fantastic. And I know the audience, they just love you
Oh,
because I always get some comments on
awesome.
TikTok or someplace, TikTok or someplace, some one of those platforms.
Yeah.
So the audience know you, they love you. So
I
I'm
love
sure
you.
you
I love
I know it's fun to do. It really is fun. But you know what? It's fun, but we still learn a lot. I
absolutely.
learned a lot from you. You know what I mean? So it's really fun. So, okay, Paula, let our audience know your last words.
My last words when it comes to limiting beliefs, you are, again, I think I said before, you are the best return on your investment.
Mm.
Invest in yourself. Give yourself time and space to break free from some limiting beliefs. I don't care if you got them at 2 years old, 10 years old,
What?
30, 40, 50. Acknowledge them, find what they are, and give yourself the opportunity to shift your mindset and live life in ways that may be beyond what's been limiting you for years.
That sounds great. So live your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Positive talk, live your life. All right. So I think I really hate to let you guys go, but guess what? There will be another show.
Yes.
There will be another show. So let us hear from you. All right. My number is 707-386-7617. All right. So let us hear from you. So, but right now, I'm going to sign off and I'm going to tell everybody to be safe, be healthy, and be blessed. All right. Until next time, this is Mary from Straight Talk About Health and Wellness.